Okay, check out how I'm matching with this little plant at the back with my little hair transformation. You know what my main ambition in life is? I want to become the female version of Slavoj Žižek, but based. Hopefully the fact that this wardrobe is not closed all the way through is just uncanny to you as it is to me, but I'm having to live with it. It's probably just so full of clothes, it doesn't close all the way. Maybe if I push it harder, it's going to close. I honestly tried and it didn't work. So this is just what we're going to deal with. Hopefully you're able to notice the change of books. So I am staging my Illyenkov book that I haven't read yet because the comrades and I are reading something else at the moment. But yeah, I really highly recommend you guys read Illyenkov. He is such a great philosopher. It is a little bit hard to understand him, I admit. I am putting a lot of effort and brain power into trying to understand and make sense of everything. Not only because of the terminology, but just because many of the things he talks about are the little mistakes that we all make because of the ideology we currently live in. Like, we cannot escape the ideology because it feels so normal and natural to us. But one of the key aspects of Illyenkov that I wish every single person understood is the fact that we, as a thinking, conscious version of the substance, we have the capacity of knowing and understanding, because for the longest time, just as many people who live in the world that is prone to subjective idealism, or even subjective materialism, or objective idealism, we always look for this mystical decision, mystical solution, rather, outside of ourselves or within ourselves. It doesn't really matter, because we feel so powerless. We look for power elsewhere. We look for power outside of ourselves, and thus the knowledge appears to be this ethereal thing that is never fully going to be understood by us. But objective materialism, or dialectical materialism, postulates that the truth is knowable. We can't learn the truth. The truth is going to change because it continuously changes. Every single second of the day, the truth is new. It's renewed, but it still contains a lot of the old of itself in itself. This is true for everything. This is true for ourselves. We continuously sloth cells. Our cells are completely renewed within a certain cycle, so it's very little of the old us that remains, yet we're still the same. We cannot claim, honestly, that we have become a totally different person. Of course we have, but we remain the same. So it is that unity and struggle of the opposites. As usual, like everything in this world, we change, and in this process of becoming, we are human. So the matter, the substance, and us as its conscious iterations, we have the ability to know, to learn, to expand on our knowledge. But we need to understand that this process is never ending. And this is what is so hard, because we cannot imagine eternity, right? Like, I have been for some time trying to imagine and envision eternity, and I can't. I'm just not capable of that. And it's scary trying to imagine eternity, right? So if you've ever pondered your own mortality, you know how scary and uncanny it is. You feel so small and so insignificant, and you just feel like something is going to break within you if you keep on thinking about it. And that is because that's just how our nervous systems and our brains are able to interact with some of the aspects of reality. So it's okay if we don't understand eternity at this exact moment. And some will argue that the knowledge of eternity cannot be transferred. I don't know. I don't think it really pertains to the issues at hand that we have, the issues of capitalism and imperialism. And you may ask me, well, how is the rest of it pertains to the issues of capitalism and imperialism? Well, that is because that simple statement that for some people, for many, many of us, it is easier to envision the end of the world than it is to envision the end of capitalism. We need to understand that simultaneously, as we are striving to change our economic conditions by changing the process of production and distribution, we also are ought to work on the processes that are happening within our consciousness, because we have to make sure that our ideology and our economic conditions are exchanging knowledge, because we need to make sure that our ideology does not lag behind, because this is one of the things that happened in the Soviet Union. A lot of the people became incapacitated ideologically by the propaganda of the West and by the fact that the Soviet propaganda was failing the people. It was not giving the people any narratives that they needed, and it was not really evolving with the times. It was not evolving fast enough to fulfill the arising new human needs. And that was a failure. And that was one of the biggest mistakes, perhaps, that the party committed. But by looking at and analyzing the economic conditions of that time, you understand what led to it. And it's not like, oh, it's nobody's fault, it just happened. No, it is the fault of some of the party members. It is the fault of some of the people who participated in, the bureaucratic processes, the people who became too comfortable, the people who were vying for the Western wealth, etc. So it is a combination of things. It is never one single thing that led to some huge change. And that huge change, of course, being a regression. And I am personally very much interested in looking at the ideology, because I do not have access to the means of production, and I do not have access to the processes of production. And all the work I did in the past and I'm currently doing is intellectual work. So I'm using the tools that I have been refining my entire life. So I'm going to continue studying the ideology and the ideological aspects. But philosophers like Illyenkov really truly inspire me, because I can see how through words, through symbols, through signs, through what appears to be idle talk, we are capable of not only achieving a bigger and fuller understanding of what's happening, but we're also capable of transporting that to other people. We're capable of sharing that with other people. And this change that we are able to transfer to each other, this mental change, this conscious change, this is not nothing. This is also a part of the processes, of the universal processes, if you like. They're not going to be unnoticed. So I'm not saying that, oh, think hard enough and manifest a different destiny for us all. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we have to work in all the areas. Those who can speak the words can speak the words. Those who can influence something at work, at their workplaces, go for it. Those who can unionize. Those who can organize in some capacity. We have to utilize all of our talents and all of our abilities in all of the areas of our life, all day, every day. This is what is necessary, so that there is a quantitative change that is going to sooner rather than later turn into a qualitative change. And I said that without stumbling. So yeah, this is a promotion of Illyenkov. Let me know if you read him. Do not recommend anything yet to me, because I'm going to devote a lot of time to reading him, and I have such a long list of books to read. I still have most of these books, Lenin's, Engels, Marx's and stuff, so I'm not going to have time to read anything new in the nearest future. But do let me know what you think, and let's keep this conversation going, and I hope that you have a great day today.